Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, all eyes are on Wisconsin this evening. The votes are in for this state's historic recall races.
Although not all the votes are in, Governor Walker is the projected winner, and his campaign has declared him the victor, making him the first governor in history to successfully fend off a recall. Let's take a look at the latest voting numbers from your local election headquarters. The numbers have Governor Walker leading Tom Barrett 56% to 43%. That's with 67% of the vote in. Local 5 has live team coverage of tonight's elections. Brett Lemoyne is in Milwaukee with Tom Barrett's campaign. First, let's go to Caroline Rowland in Waukesha with a reaction from Governor Walker's campaign.
Aaron, Tom, Wisconsin has spoken. They have made their decision. Governor Walker will keep his job and finish his term until 2014. And there are hundreds and hundreds of very excited supporters packed into this convention center waiting for Governor Walker to speak. He is expected to speak any minute. Lieutenant Governor Kleefisch did just make a speech. It was only a couple minutes long. She said this is what democracy looks like and thanked those first-time voters for coming out. And I think there were a lot of very surprised people here tonight because voter turnout was so high. They expected this race to be called much later, but to this crowd's delight, NBC News called this race around 9 p.m. Now, what exactly this means, Walker's campaign said it means Wisconsin agrees with his reforms, and today he said he's looking forward to getting back to work for Wisconsin tomorrow morning, and it looks like Wisconsin has allowed him to do that.
Thank you, Caroline.
And now let's go to Local 5's Brett Lemoyne. He's live in Milwaukee now with reaction from Tom Barrett's campaign. Brett.
Well, Tom and Aaron, volunteers are not giving up. Even the party not giving up at this hour. In fact, Chairman Mike Tate just told the crowd within the last half an hour that no one should be making any calls or predictions on this race until all of the votes are in. Now, this is a fact that was confirmed by the GAB. Within the last hour, there were still people in line in Milwaukee waiting to cast their vote. Now, one person hopeful for a different outcome than these projections is Reverend Jesse Jackson. I spoke with him within the last hour about the historic turnout and what it means heading into the November election.
Newly registered voters than there are ballots. In some other instances, they've run out of ballots, for example, and that's significant. The pundits' projections were based upon likely voters. They misread unlikely voters and new voters and voter enthusiasm.
So could those new voters, those newly energized voters, help the president down the road?
Very well. In Milwaukee, in greater Milwaukee, there are 250,000 African Americans who are eligible to register and vote today, right now. I spent time in high schools. All those high school seniors were eligible to register and vote now at age 18. I took a 98-year-old woman to the polls and 18-year-olds to the polls. And so the churches organized and begun to get their secretaries to call their membership rolls because they feel acutely the impact of badger care on workers, on the seniors, for example. And so there's been an unusual level of enthusiasm here bottom up.
Now, Mayor Barrett is reportedly watching from home as the results come in. It's unclear when he will be arriving here at the party to address supporters, but periodically throughout the evening, we've been hearing from elected officials from the Democratic Party trying to rally the crowd here in Milwaukee. We're live in Milwaukee. Brett Lemoyne, Local 5 News HD.
Thank you, Brett. For more reaction on tonight's elections, we have crews at 2 local watch parties. Local 5's Shelley Botot is standing by with area Democrats.
First, though, we go to Melaine Wells. She has more now from area Republicans. Melaine?
Well, the excitement and the noise level is at peak here at Titletown Brewing in Green Bay. We have seen hugging, we've seen high fives, and we have seen tears as results have come in favor of Governor Scott Walker. Both of these parties have said from the beginning getting voters to the polls today was going to be key to winning this election, and we're joined by somebody who helped accomplish just that. Reed Dine is one of the volunteers at the party, and Reed, you're only 18. This is only the second time you've had a chance to vote. Why get involved?
It's so important. I mean, a lot of people in my generation don't really get this, but it's not about the present. It's about our future. It's about my kids' future. And everyone needs to really understand that it's so important to get involved, not only for yourself, but for the next generation.
And For you, getting involved meant making phone calls, it meant sending out flyers, and it meant getting people to the polls today in whatever way possible. You told me a great story about a woman in the Hayward area. Tell our viewers.
All right. Well, we were making one of those, detested phone calls today from the Victory Center, and we called an elderly woman in the Hayward area. She was a widow, she was very old, she had no means to get to a polling place, and she asked us at the Victory Center if we knew of a way to get her out because she really wanted to vote for the governor. So we called some people from the Victory Center, we called her representative, we called the local party, her mayor, we called everyone in Hayward, and we got that woman to the polls, so that's one more vote for Governor Walker today.
And watching these returns come in this evening, what is your emotion like?
Ecstatic. I mean, it's great to be here, especially it's just so exciting that all our hard work has really paid off, and I mean, it's a great day to be a Republican in the state of Wisconsin. So.
What is your hope going forward? We have talked so much about this recall. What's your hope for tomorrow?
Well, our hope for tomorrow is that everything can just settle back down. I mean, it's been a very divided state until now, and we just need to come back together and make sure that regardless of the party or who we supported in this recall, that we all want to get Wisconsin open for business again, and we want to keep moving forward.
Well, we thank you for your time. You're a very well-spoken 18-year-old, and I'm sure that the governor appreciates your neckwear. Very creative campaigning taking place here in Green Bay. We're live at Titletown Brewing downtown. I'm Melaine Wells, Local 5 News HD.
All right, thanks, Melaine.
Let's go to Local 5 Shelley Botat live from the Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay with Democratic reaction. Shelley?
Well, the chant here was tonight and still is, this is what democracy looks like. Obviously, the mood here at the Brown County Democratic's election party is down. Some people did tell me that they are pretty upset about tonight. However, they were hoping that this was going to turn into a victory party for Tom Barrett. Obviously, that did not happen. Now, dozens showed up at the Riverside Ballroom tonight to watch the election results. And some did say, like I said, they said they were upset that the race was called so early. Now, the recall efforts began last year over the governor's proposed budget repair bill and collective bargaining rights. Since then, thousands of volunteers, many of them here, spent hours for the cause, canvassing neighborhoods to get out the vote. They even continued to call residents to remind them to vote right up until the polls closed tonight. And even though it looks like Barrett was not able to come out on top over Walker, many feel all the effort was worth it, because this party is a celebration of the number of people who volunteered and their efforts with boots on the ground. They say this is what democracy is all about. They believe voters and the party have become stronger. In fact, membership for the Brown County Democrats has nearly tripled since the recall, and they are in the process of building a new building. Now, Brown County's Democratic chair, Mary Ginabo, says the recall was worth it because they were able to reconnect with people that they hadn't connected with before, and they believe that these people weren't politically involved, will keep on being politically involved. Now, joining me right now is Senator Dave Hansen, tonight's MC. Now, it looks like the recall efforts did not go your way tonight.
Well, we're disappointed, but we wanted to be here tonight to thank the volunteers because they gave the ultimate effort. It's a tough battle when you're competing against $31 million versus $4. And they're paying basically $30 a vote, and Barrett's about $3 a vote. So we're saddened, but we're disappointed also that the race is called with people still waiting to vote. Now, if you're waiting to vote and you're told it's over, are you going to continue to wait? So I think the race in the end will be a lot closer as they count the Madison and Milwaukee votes. But we're not excited, but we do feel we have a shot in the Racine race to gain that seat and put the majority in the state Senate.
And why is that so important?
Well, 17-16 is better than 16-17, and to be in the majority, even for a short period of time, and with an election coming up in November, I noticed with the exit polling, Obama did very well. So it's hard to understand exactly how the dynamics in this recall worked. Maybe people just don't like recalls, I ran in one, I won. I obviously don't like it, but it is what it is.
Now, a huge number of people did go to the polls today. What do you think that means?
Well, it does mean that the other side, the Republicans, had a great grassroots program, and that actually they bought a lot of people, paid a lot of money. I think it was $3 million to get the vote out. Ours is more grassroots, and we did a good job. But when you're dealing with commercial after commercial and commercial, telling a story that you don't have a chance to respond to because you just don't have the money, Citizens United has changed the landscape. When you're 30 million versus 4 million, it's a different day.
Now, all right, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it, Senator. And I'm Shelley Botat live in Green Bay, Local 5 News HD.
Thanks, Shelley. We're told Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett is now at the podium.
And we're going to go to him live right now.
Important to each and every one of us. I want to begin by introducing my wife, Chris, who has stood by my side for many. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett delivering his concession speech. He said he has been on the phone with Governor Scott Walker and congratulated him. There again, the concession speech by Mayor Barrett. Well, the Wisconsin voters, as you might imagine, came out in historic numbers to the polls today.
Brown County printed an additional 16,000 ballots to keep up with voter demand. In Howard, folks were waiting outside at 6:15 this morning to cast their ballots 45 minutes before the polls even opened. In Green Bay, some people stood in line for up to an hour to select their candidates of choice. And problems at the polls were minor. Some machines jammed, but they were quickly fixed. Turnout in Outagamie County quite high as well. There, enough ballots were already in hand. In Appleton, the city clerk made the prediction that voter turnout would be between 75% and 85%. And overall, things at the polls went smoothly. There was a minor altercation at the Lawrence University polling site between election observers and poll workers, but that was resolved and no arrests were made. As we said, the governor's race, not the only recall election that we're watching tonight.
Voters also were casting their ballots for lieutenant governor. That race with Republican incumbent Rebecca Kleefisch against Democratic challenger Mahlon Mitchell. There you see 68% of the vote is in, and the incumbent Kleefisch with a 10-point lead, 55 to 45% over challenger Mahlon Mitchell. Also, lest we forget, 3 state senators were also facing recalls across Wisconsin tonight.
In District 13, Senator Scott Fitzgerald successfully held off the Democrat Lori Compass with 100% of the vote in. He had 60% of that vote.
In District 23, Terry Moulton of Chippewa Falls was facing Democrat Kirsten Dexter. About 50% of the vote is in, and Moulton leading by 61 to 39%.
In Racine's 21st Senate District, 90% of the vote in there, the Republican incumbent Van Wangard squared off against Democrat John Lehman and successfully defended his race.
And in District 29, a 4th state senator was recalled. Now, she has resigned, so Republican Jerry Petrosky was facing off against Democrat Donna Seidel. About 68% of the vote is in, and it looks as though Petrosky is on his way to victory over Seidel, 61 to 39%. Well, today's recall races have been a central topic of discussion on social media sites like Twitter and Facebook.
And for more reaction online, we send you over to Local 5's Heather Sawaski. Heather?
Okay, thank you. Tom and Aaron, after several outlets called the race for Walker, Mitt Romney tweeted his congratulations to the governor. It's just the latest in a flurry of political tweets and posts today.
All day long, people have been taking to their keyboards, giving their 2 cents about the recall. Hashtag Scott Walker and hashtag WI Recall have been trending most of the day in Wisconsin on Twitter, and excited voters snapped and posted pictures, proud for getting out to the polls. At Lauren MCC tweeted, 10 minutes till the polls close in Wisconsin, and I'm on pins and needles. The historic election even had political pundits from across the country talking. Conservative author Ann Coulter tweeted, if Walker loses, the entire country will be California. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee tweeted, Scott Walker is a fiscal and social conservative. He deserves our support. Wisconsin, please vote for Scott Walker today. In support of Tom Barrett, documentarian Michael Moore tweeted, calling all cheeseheads and cheesehead lovers, volunteer to kick out Walker here. Here at home, fans of our Facebook page told us about their voting experience. One viewer said, yes, I voted at 7 p.m. I walked in, voted, and walked out. Just that easy. Another agreed on the short wait time. She said, in Shawano, steady stream in and out. Hardly any waiting when we were there.
Of course, we also want to continue hearing your thoughts on our Twitter account and on our WFRV Facebook page. We have a lot more election coverage on our website, wearegreenbay.com. Click on your local election headquarters on the top of our homepage.
All right, thanks, Heather. Still to come, the latest numbers from the polls in tonight's historic recall election.
Plus, our local 5 political analyst shares his expertise on what tonight's numbers mean for Wisconsin. And in the weather.